Hello, this is Bob Gray Sr. Welcome to 3 o'clock edition Central Time of Ministry Moments. Ministry Moments podcast. Ministry Moments is also found on YouTube, Bob Gray Sr. It's also, when you go to solvechurchproblems.com, you can subscribe there, and that way you'll be able to look at it at your own leisure. But I'll be with you every Friday, Lord willing, 3 o'clock Central Time. And today I want to talk to you about making adjustments. It's important that you understand, it's as you go through your ministry and as you go through life, there's going to be things that are going to happen you never thought would happen, and you're going to have to make adjustments. And as you make adjustments, that doesn't mean that you're compromising. It means that you are looking down the road where, as I gave the lecture one week on pace, we ought to pace ourselves. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And which means from time to time, you're going to have to make some adjustments, and you're sure you're making the right adjustments. If you're following a compromiser, then you'll probably end up making adjustments toward a compromising position. If you're going to follow somebody who is anti Jack Hyles, Lee Robertson, Tom Malone, John Rice, down the line, then you better choose to follow somebody else. They're going to lead you down a primrose lane or down a dark alley, and you're not going to like the results of it at all. I saw the results of Lee Robertson. I liked it. I saw the results of Jack Hyles. I liked it. I loved it. I saw the results of Tom Malone, his preaching, and there are great churches all over Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, that even though his college was not very big, he produced some of the great church builders of the day. And so I know I've seen the results. I've not seen the results of some of these California guys who are anti-Jack Hyles, and I've not seen that result yet. But I've seen the results of a Jack Hyles and a Lee Robertson and Tom Malone, Curtis Hudson, and I've seen the results of that. And I like it. Lester Roloff. I like it. And so as you go through life, you're going to have to make adjustments. So let me talk to you about making adjustments. Here we go. Number one, know the difference between change and improvement. Know the difference between the word change and improvement. I cringe every time somebody prays, God, change us. I cringe because you'll have to forgive me. I just have a picture of the word change that's different than the word improvement. All right. One, know the difference between change and improvement. You say, what is it? Well, I'm glad you asked. I'll tell you. Number two, change comes from when you do nothing but the status quo. Change, it's a law of thermodynamics. Everything left to itself will naturally deteriorate. So change comes when you do nothing but the status quo. If all you do is the same thing, then you're setting yourself up to deteriorate. All right. Number three, improvement comes on purpose. Now, you're not a compromiser if you the carpet or the furnishing or the pews or the platform or refurbish. We refurbished our bathrooms every 5 to 7 years, because after a while they need to be all the way to the basic and ripped apart and put back together again. So I'm for that. I like that. I like it. Dr. Lee Robertson told me one time, he said, Brother Gray, do something to the outside of your building once a year that everybody who passes by says something's happening there. And boy, he was right. And we did that. And I like that. Know the difference between change and improvement. Number two, change comes when you do nothing but the status quo. Number three, improvement comes on purpose, takes character. If your music programs live off of talent, you're headed for trouble. But if it lives off of character, having to learn how to play the instrument and how to sing, you can, if you say, I can't sing a lick, you can learn how. And there are voice teachers who can help you. You may not be an Alva Martinez, but you might be a Willie Nelson. No, I'm joking there. All right. Number one, know the difference between change and improvement. Number two, change comes when you do nothing but the status quo. Number three, improvement comes on purpose. Number 4, live fish swim upstream against the current. Live fish swim upstream against the current. You have to go against the current. You have to. If pastors like Bill Hybels did, he ran a survey. What would you people like in a church? And then he gave it to them. And after a while, he did a study. He was running 15,000. He did a study to find out how his church, the people that were members, were doing. And he came back, and one of his own brother or relatives was on that committee. He's the one that gave it to me, and I put it in the Baptist magazine. But he said, we got the crowds. We don't have the Christians. They don't know their Bibles. They were entertained, and they loved it, but they don't know their Bibles. All right. So improvement comes on purpose. And it's like live fish swim upstream against the current. Against the current. I'm against the current of these young guys are making fun of standards and actually saying that alcohol is all right as long as it's not to excess, and misinterpret and misquote and distort scriptures. It's like going on modest apparel. You can distort all the scriptures you want to, but I'm going to tell you something. You girls, you chunky girls in these yoga pants are a perfect testament of why we believe in separation. And why we believe that a lady ought to dress like a lady. You're our best testimony for it. Okay, write me letters. Send an email, bgraysr@me.com. How about calling me, 903-237-9019. I said, number 1, know the difference between change and improvement. Number 2, change comes when you do nothing but the status quo. 3, improvement comes on purpose. 5, live fish swim upstream against the current. That's 4. Number 5, dead fish go downstream with the current. Your contemporaries can't help you at all. You see what they see. Only they're a little bit more charismatic, more personable, and have a lot better personality and a bigger church. And so we better listen to them. I'd suggest you listen to the old men. That's what I suggest. You young guard, if it wasn't for the old guard, you'd have nothing to guard. Number 6, you must have finances, facilities, and faculty going in your direction. You must have finances, facilities, and faculty in your favor. You've got to have those 3 components. If you have those 3 components, then you can begin to do extra, and you can begin to improve. If you have that going for you, you've got to have finances, you've got to have facilities, you've got to have the faculty. You can't add more buses if you don't have drivers and secretaries and bus captains and Sunday school class to accommodate them. You can't just bring 500 kids, dump them into 5 Sunday school classes and say, be you warmed and filled. You can't do that. Number 7, turn the steering wheel slowly. Turn the steering wheel slowly. I was going over some things with Brother Hiles about some things I wanted to do. And he stopped and looked at me. He said, don't jerk the steering wheel. Don't jerk the steering wheel. Man, I wrote so many things. Never break stride was his famous living above the fray. But don't jerk the steering wheel. I wrote that down in front of my Bible. I have a lot of those quotes from him. So turn the steering wheel slowly. Don't jerk the steering wheel. All right. So I said, making adjustments now is the theme here. 1, know the difference between change and improvement. Change comes when you do nothing but the status quo. Number 3, improvement comes on purpose. 4, live fish swim upstream against the current. You got to go against the contemporaries and the current. You have to. Number 5, dead fish go downstream with the current. Number 6, you must have finances, facilities, and faculty in your favor. Number 7, turn the steering wheel slowly. I'm going to make an adjustment. Turn the steering wheel slowly. Number 8, lead the members to the right decisions. Lead the members to the right decisions. Do you know, when I became pastor, I was pastor here for 3 decades in Texas, a lady came up to me and she said, what are you going to do if this church doesn't call you? And I said, there's 2 callings, man, 2 anointings. There's the anointing of the people and the anointing of God. David had 3 anointings, and each anointing gave him more territory to be responsible for. But the anointing depended on the people. God had already anointed David. But the people anointed him first, and then they anointed him a second time. They anointed him a third time all over Israel. Now, if the people, there's two callings when you go somewhere: the anointing of the people, their voice, their vote, and the anointing of God. God had spoke to me about coming to Texas, and all of you, as clear as I'm talking to you. I was in the back seat of a car in Garland, Texas, when Tom Smith, who was preaching a youth conference for Gary Coleman, looked across the back seat and said, Terry's church still doesn't have a pastor in Longview. The church hadn't seen the building, hadn't seen anything. But God spoke to me as clearly as I'm talking to you and said, you're going to be the next pastor. It's a long story. It's in one of my books. It's Just a Thought One. Read it when you got time. But everything that I've did in those 30 years, I led the people to the decision that I thought was the right decision. Now, if they had voted it down, we wouldn't have done it, because I need two anointings. I need the anointing of the people, and I need the anointing of God. I've got to have it. I've got to have it, both. Jack Hyles never asked to be the leader of fundamentalism. The people that did that, they anointed him. They pushed him to the top. There are a lot of men fighting to get that top position, but the truth is, it's the people that are going to push you up. God may anoint you, he may have told you, but not until the people tell you. Now, why am I saying that? I'm saying the people were the ones who wanted to build the buildings. The people were the ones who wanted to extend the budget, make the budget bigger, and to add ministries like the college and like the magazine and like so many things. We had 40 bus routes. I'm just saying none of that's possible. Try it. You can't even run 3 bus routes. Try running 40 routes and try running to Shreveport and Bossier and have a bus captain not get back till 2:30 in the morning and go to work early in the morning. But there has to be, the people had to be in favor of it. So we're talking about making adjustments. Know the difference between change and improvement. Change comes when you do nothing but the status quo. Everything naturally deteriorates. 3, improvement comes on purpose. 4, live fish swim upstream against the current. 5, dead fish go downstream with the current. Don't be a dead fish in this stream. 6, you must have finances, facilities, and faculty in your favor. Number 7, turn the steering wheel slowly. This is a marathon, not a sprint. Then number 8, lead the members to the right decision. You need their anointing. If you're going to be able to build that building and do what you've got to do, you've got to lead them to that decision. But ultimately, you need 2 anointings, the people and God. Well, I hope that helped you. Hey, wasn't I nicer this week than I was last week? God bless you. Thank you for being a part of this podcast. Thank you for being a part of the YouTube part or the Soft Church Problem. God bless you. God bless you. Got a new book coming out. Absalom is the title, Victim or Villain, and it'll be coming out soon. And I want you to make note of it and to get it. Please get it, and please pay for it this time. God bless you. Have a great day. Soul winning tomorrow. Have a great day on preparation day for the Lord's day.